welcome to another video. And as usual, before I get started, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe if you're new to this content. And to my current subscribers, I appreciate you guys more now. Let's just get right to it. So at the time of making this video, as you guys can see, the price of Bitcoin at 68,000, Ethereum around the $3,500 mark, and yes, the crypto market is actually red. The stock market did take a hit as well, given the fact that the consumer report actually came out with Jerome Powell, and it shows that consumer spending is now starting to really ramp up the inflation rate. It actually went up over 3.5%, which is not what Jerome Powell wanted to see. This is the reason why they went ahead and stopped raising interest rate. Now, the fact that we're seeing the inflation rate start to continue to climb, and we saw the CPI report is now up to over 4%, that is not a good look. The CPI report basically measured goods and services, and if they see that start to climb, that's not a good look because, consumers are actually spending even more money. Now, I know they actually did mention that they may cut interest rates as much as 3 times before this year is out. Given the fact that we're seeing all of the consumer spending and all that stuff continue to climb, and we have supply versus demand, there's a high chance that they may in fact go ahead and raise it again. Now, that has not been said, but all I can tell you is that it is not off the table. How's that going to affect crypto? We know the Bitcoin halving is going to be happening in days. With them raising interest rates, guys, that means that there's less money for consumers to go ahead and spend. The price of goods and services is going to be to a point where it's going to be where people are going to be spending more, and having that extra passive income, or what is known as the slush funds, to go ahead and invest in crypto, is going to become less amount being put into that particular market, and because people are going to want to address the things that they need versus things that they want. So this is what I'm bringing to you guys, because in order to know how things are happening, you need to get the measuring stick out and try to figure out how far is your money actually going to go when you're investing in crypto. The stock market, my money is there. It took a hit. Crypto market, you see what's going on. But a lot of people, with interest rates rising here in the United States, what that does, it puts pressure on a lot of big blue chip type of companies, as well as small companies, where they cannot sustain the large amount of staff that they have. And unfortunately, they have to go ahead and cut staff. This is what will most likely be the impact. And for those of you who don't know, the goal is to get the inflation rate down to roughly 2%. We are not there yet. And to get it down to 2%, there will be pain. And the pain can come with, again, unemployment. And they don't want to cripple the economy, but this is what it would actually have to take in order to stabilize and cool the economy. And then a lot of those people that are actually out of job, they may come back into the market at a lower salary, but this is what cools it off. And as a result, they can cut goods and services rates down, where it can actually become manageable for everybody else. So this is the cycle that tends to happen. The tools that are in place, and you got to take a look at the macro view when you're looking at investing to see how things are happening. Is it a good time to invest? And really and truly, it's actually an excellent time to invest. And the price of Bitcoin is seen at 3,500. There's projection that Ethereum price is actually going to go down to either 2,970 or even lower before it actually starts to bounce back. We know the spot ETF is, we're looking forward to the May 23rd potential approval date. There's nothing written that it's going to happen that day, but that is when the SEC is going to give their answer. They can say, hey, we're going to go ahead and delay it. It's not ready yet. Or they can just come back and say, hey, it was not approved. But for those of you that are not aware, Hong Kong is actually in the process of approving a spot BTC Bitcoin ETF as well as Ethereum ETF in a matter of days. Basically, it's been reported from reading from Bloomberg that it can happen Monday coming, roughly next week, and they can actually have it go live by the end of the month. This is actually going to be very, very huge, and what this will actually do is put the Asian market on a bigger platform compared to the United States, as being as one of the leading crypto-based platforms in the world, if they go ahead and get this actually in place before the ETF actually happens here in the United States. We understand the concerns with the SEC from a regulation standpoint. We know that they went ahead and they sent a Wells notice to Ethereum to let them know that they will be scrutinized, that they'll most likely be audited for the practice and how they went ahead and actually launched or the fact that they went to a more of a decentralized or a deflationary standpoint. They're going to look at all that. And all of this is actually going to put pressure on them actually causing the date for the decision date to most likely be pushed. And you see BlackRock and all those other companies, hedge fund companies, are gearing towards trying to get that approval. But I think what's going to happen is that if they in fact just go ahead and extend the date, it's going to add a lot of pressure, as it did with the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, that it'll come to a point where the SEC will most likely, hands will be forced to go ahead and make a decision of what they need to do. The approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF, it was not an exciting time for Gary Gensler. We saw tweets that, he was not excited. He didn't really come out to say that his hands were forced, but we may see a repeat of that same situation happen with Ethereum, because there are a lot of interested people that would like to add that onto their portfolio. So the companies in Hong Kong that are actually similar to the BlackRock, that are actually taking part and will be most likely the first ones to actually get the approval. One is called Harvest Global Investment. One is called Basera Asset Management. And next one's called Husky Capital. These are the ones that actually applied, and they will most likely get it. Now, right now in the Asian market, that adoption of crypto is actually starting to take shape. Because, and I can tell you guys this, I invest in a lot of different memes that I may not mention on these particular channels, but the Telegram groups that I'm involved in, a lot of those persons are from Asia. And they put in a lot of money with their investment. And as a result, they are very, very engaged when it comes to crypto. So the interest in investing in Bitcoin legally and all that stuff in Asia is actually going to be a welcome relief to another avenue to actually make money. And this is the reason why a lot of you guys need to, keep an eye on what's happening with all these different decisions. Don't just focus on the United States, because if the approval does happen for a spot ETF for Ethereum, the price of Ethereum is actually going to climb. And that's actually going to also help the Bitcoin price to climb as well, because number one, there's going to be even more investors coming in. The price of Bitcoin is actually going to pump because it's going to create volume. And that's going to happen eventually, as well as we see with the Bitcoin halving. Now, again, even that decision is not even written in stone. Even though we know it's imminent, they can actually go ahead and delay that. But there's been no information from different media outlets that they in fact will go ahead and delay the decision for Hong Kong. But I think this is something that's really, really important that a lot of people are not really paying attention of. We're only looking at what's going to be happening here in the United States. So you have to take into account what can be happening internationally. So if you like what I'm saying, guys, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Let's get this out to as much people as possible. And for those of you that are part of my subscribers list, go ahead and turn on the notification bell so you can know when I do, in fact, go ahead and release these videos. I tend to release these videos every other day when I do have the necessary means to go ahead and do these videos. But primarily, I will be focused on the blue chip tokens, as well as, you guys, if you watched the last video, the majority of the tokens that actually made a dent or made a name for themselves in 2021 could most likely rally again in this bull run. And I'm talking about SHIB, and I'm definitely talking about Doge. A lot of people are seeing the price of the Dogecoin price climb, but a lot of people are not taking note until the price of Doge actually reached to $1 or 74 cents. You want to definitely put some money on those particular tokens that had a big name in 2021 that are still around today, that are still operating with no drama, that you can definitely feel comfortable putting your money on this particular token. So this is what I'll bring to you guys today, because, I am excited to see how this is actually all going to turn out. And I hope you guys are excited as well, because if you are able to get into these particular blue chip tokens now, yes, we know that Bitcoin all-time high was around at 70,000 and it's at 68,000. It's a bit unreachable for the majority of people, for us retailers, to go ahead and say, okay, I'll go ahead and get one Bitcoin at $68,000. It's not realistic. But for those who, if you definitely can afford to get a full Ethereum, and again, it's not financial, go ahead and make that's a risk that only you can understand. And I'm not saying you must not go ahead and pay your mortgage or whatever, but if you do in fact have the extra funds that will not impact you in no shape or no form, why not put on Ethereum? I DCA continuously to make sure that I'm going to have an edge on my money as time go on, and be able to get even more money that I can actually gain rather than keeping that money in my bank account and making maybe as much as maybe $1.50 by keeping that money, that same amount in the bank for over 12 months. So again, if you like what I'm saying, go ahead, like, share, subscribe. It's a beautiful day today. Let's make it an even better day by getting involved in crypto and putting it on something that you know that's going to mature and give you a significant rate of return in as much as between 5 to 10 years. So until I see you guys again, you guys have a wonderful day and peace.